Hey, that's an interesting mic setup you've got going on there.
Thanks, I got it just for this video.
Oh, amazing! Are you ready for your 73 questions?
Never been more ready. Let's get right into it.
Who are you?
I'm Daigan.
What do you study?
I study philosophy, politics and economics at the LSE.
Which year are you in?
I'm in my third year.
How many years is your degree?
A 4-year degree, so I've got 1 year left.
Are you spending all 4 years at the LSE?
I am indeed.
Why did you decide not to go abroad?
It's quite expensive, and also it doesn't count towards the degree, so it's not really worth it.
Are you happy at least that you chose the LSE?
I am 100%.
What's your favourite thing about the LSE?
The people, really interesting people, motivated, and there's always a lot going on.
What's the worst thing then about the LSE?
The intensity. There's a lot of pressure, expectations high, and you just always have to be working quite hard or conscious of your work.
Fair enough. So what surprised you the most?
How much there is to do. There's a lot to do around here. There's the public lecture series, the people are lovely. I don't know, there's a lot going on.
So all positive things then?
Yeah, well, yes, mostly.
What's the worst thing you experienced living in central London?
The house prices, it's quite expensive here. Most of your loans going on that.
So I can see that there's a lot of construction going on around here. Why?
LSE is constantly elevating. They've always got a new building coming along. You're going to see one of the new buildings in a bit. And yeah, there's one left. So that's why they're constructing.
Nice. Where are we now?
This is the Free Tons. It's LSE Student Union. And that's the pub everyone goes to on a Friday night.
Oh, nice.
And this building actually won awards for its design. You'll see it in a minute.
Can you show me around then?
Yeah, sure. Come with me.
So have you spotted any politicians around town?
I have indeed. I saw one in a student hall. That politician should not have been there, but I'll leave that story for another day. And I saw Ed Miliband. I got a picture with him at a public lecture.
I think we all want to hear that story.
One day.
So how do you find studying in such a huge city?
I really enjoy it. I'm a city guy. I like fast-paced life and a lot going on.
Fair enough. That's a good answer. Best low-key place to chill on campus?
Maybe Lincoln's Inn Fields. It's really like green. You can just chill and sit with your friends. It's great on a sunny day.
That's so nice. Overrated place that people go to around campus?
Hare Krishna for the free food. It's not worth it. It doesn't taste nice, but some people live by it.
I definitely won't go there then. What is that behind you? Is that a massive globe in the middle of campus?
I'm glad you asked. This is the Globe. Very famous spot on campus. A lot of people take their graduation photos here. Yeah, it only just got built. There's a bit of controversy about it, but it's a nice place. It grows on you. So
I probably would have seen it on Instagram floating around then.
Yeah, you've probably seen it on Instagram.
So how far is the closest airport, speaking of a globe?
There's 4 airports in London, and none of them are more than an hour away.
How often do you leave the city?
Not too much. I quite like it here.
Cheapest place to travel?
I went to Spain in second year for £10.
£10?
£10, yeah.
Why the heck is there a theatre in the middle of campus?
Well, a bit of a weird one, but we actually have our lectures in here sometimes. I also performed here for the dance show with my dance crew.
Wow, so you're involved in dance. What societies do you do then?
I'm really involved in dance. I'm on the committee for that. Well, I was. And I was the president for Blockchain Society last year.
Wow, you're so active. On a scale of 1 to 10, how sporty is your uni?
I'd give us a good 8.
Which sports team makes the most noise?
Probably the rugby lads. They've got a bit of a reputation.
Does your uni have any rivalries with other unis?
We think we're better than everyone else, but we have a friendly rivalry of UCL and Kings.
Healthy rivalries are always all right, I guess. Rate the LSE Freshers Week out of 10, 10 being the best.
8's all round, another 8.
How often do students go out at your uni?
In freshers, and after that quite a lot, but less so as you get older.
House party or club culture?
House parties in 2nd and 3rd year, 4th year, and club culture in 1st year.
I guess that's fair enough, it makes sense. Is there a must-have clubbing experience in London? Is there a memorable one?
Yeah, definitely. Printworks is really fun. Really good light system, old abandoned warehouse, the place to be, really, really good.
And what's a typical LSE going out look? Give us a heads up.
Dressed to impress, but it does depend. You're in London, so whatever the London clubs demand.
What time does the London night out end?
3 a.m.
Ships or hookups? What's the dating scene like?
It depends, but as you get older, typically more relationships. A lot of my friends are in relationships now, but a lot of hookups too.
There is a lot going on behind us. Please explain.
So this is the Marshall building, soon to be. It's going to be finished in a year, and the management department are getting it, I think. If you decide to come here, it will be finished by the time you get here, but it will be gone by the time I leave, so I won't see it.
Shame, but that's nice for future students. Speaking of students, is your school cliquey?
Yeah, somewhat. The internationals, we have 70% international, so a lot of Asian students and Europeans stick together. And I think they need to get out their shell and talk to other people a bit more.
I feel like that's everywhere, but it's a good tip.
Yeah.
How fashionable is your campus?
Quite fashionable. There's a lot of hype beasts about, just people with too much money.
Yeah? Is there an item you see people wearing all the time then?
Lots of Canada Goose and those Scandinavian backpacks. Before we go on, this is our mascot, the elephant. Say hi.
Hey!
Baby Tembo. I don't know. And then we also have a penguin over there, and we have a beaver too. So there's lots of bit of everything.
All right, can't wait to see the penguin.
And this is my library, the main library, and I spend all my time here. I'm literally here after midnight so often, and so many other students will be able to attest to that. Do you want to have a look?
Yeah, of course we do. Let's
Come
go.
in, come in.
Do you study here a lot then?
Yeah, sorry for the windows. I've been here many times, way past midnight, as I've said.
It looks like people don't study here at all.
Coronavirus, mate. No one's here right now.
So how often are the libraries open? When do they close?
In Michaelmas term, they're open till midnight, and then in Lent term, they're open 24/7. And everyone gets really happy when they're open 24/7 because they can study longer.
Fair enough. How many libraries are there?
There's 2 libraries, maybe more, but basically this is the main library. Everyone spends all their time here, and yeah, it's huge. This is one of the mascots, Mr. Penguin.
Oh, you mentioned him earlier.
I don't know his actual name, but he's a nice penguin mascot. Yeah, lovely guy.
How expensive then is it studying in London?
Quite expensive. Yeah, very expensive. But like, if you know where to go, you go on the student nights and you find the right places to eat, it doesn't have to be that much.
All right, so back to the penguin. Rate your school spirit out of 10, 10 being the highest.
I'd say a 7. We need to work on that, but we are launching the summer ball next year, which I was involved in making, and that should hopefully bring people together. We're trying to do more community events.
Where's your favourite place to go on campus?
Me. I like the centre building. So the centre building is just over there. It's actually one of the newest buildings. It only just opened this year, and it's really beautiful, a lovely place to study. Come with me.
So let's talk about fashion then. Can you roll into class looking like you've just woken up, or is everyone always well presented?
You definitely can. I don't bother because I've been here so long I can't be asked now, but a lot of people do really try quite hard.
Right, and are you sleep deprived?
No,
How many hours of sleep do you get a night?
usually 8.
What time is your earliest class?
9 a.m, but I usually don't turn up. It's a lecture though, it's not a class.
Better not to tell everyone that one. Favourite class?
Literature and aspects of ethics, really good teacher.
Best lecturer?
Probably Kevin Chidi or Ricardo Rice for macroeconomics. They're quite famous for their like contribution to the field.
Wow, that's pretty cool to have
By the
so
way,
many world-class
look at our
professors.
art. We just launched this piece of art next to the centre building. This whole area literally didn't exist about 3 months ago, and now they've just finished construction.
Wow, so do many students end up chilling around here?
Yeah, lovely place.
What's the culture then? Coffee shops or pubs?
I like coffee shops.
Independents or chains?
Chains, because you know what you're getting.
Where can we find you on a typical weekend off campus?
Hanging out with friends, running an event with Blockchain Society, or doing some dance of some sort.
Wow, you're a pretty active guy then.
Thanks.
If I had known blank about LSE before I came, I would never have chosen it.
If I'd known how mathematical it was, most of the degrees are BScs, so lots of maths. Like even the philosophy and the economics especially, very mathsy. But it's made me a better person, and I'm glad I went through it.
Wow, that's a lot of self-reflecting. I can feel the wind quite strongly in the background. What is the weather like in London?
It really does depend. 3 weeks ago it was 34 degrees, super hot,
What?
and now like the last week it's been raining every day. So
Oh, that sucks.
yeah, a bit of everything.
Do you prefer uni then in the summer or winter?
Definitely the summer. I can't stand walking to uni in the winter. It's quite cold and it's just not nice.
Have you ever seen a celebrity around campus?
Yes, actually right down here, I walked past KSI as he was going that way to do some challenge. He threw like thousands of pounds on the floor and loads of students were doing challenges over there.
Free money?
I also saw Angelina Jolie. She was a public lecturer at the LSE for a few years ago. She might still be, I don't know.
That's quite a mix. Pretty impressive. Coolest thing you've then seen on campus?
I don't know. Like the public lectures are cool. You get like the people from the European Union. You get really big people. Lagarde, that new European Union person, she was here.
Okay, quite a lot of famous faces and names.
Yeah.
Is your uni diverse?
Yeah, very, very diverse. We're 70% international, so a bit of everything. Yeah.
Would you say there needs to be more diversity?
There needs to be more integration. People need to talk to each other a bit more and to come out their shells, but I think LSE needs to do more to make that happen.
Yeah, I understand that. How would you say then the student satisfaction is based off that?
Well, this morning we got an email from Manoush, our director, and we apparently are top of the Russell group this year, one of the top.
Wow.
But this could be fake news. Like, I don't know how trustworthy that is, because we've been at the bottom recently.
Well, if it's on paper, it must be true.
Who knows?
So, is everyone then out for themselves at your school, or is there a really supportive atmosphere?
This does depend. It depends who you surround yourself with. Some people are like that, but it's really, yeah. If you make good friends and you decide to give yourself to other people and you offer your help, people will help you back.
That's a really good piece of advice. Best place then to study on campus?
The 8th floor of the new academic building is nice, like a nice office feel, and the centre building's nice. The library too. I like studying on I can pick a different floor every day. It's such a huge library, you can always find somewhere new.
That sounds actually pretty cool. If you could change one thing about your school, what would you change?
The assessments. I would make they're really, really difficult and they try to catch you out because everyone's quite smart. And they're also very exam based if you do more economicsy subjects. So I would make that a bit, I don't know, more like broader, longer term assessments.
Yeah, that can sound quite difficult actually. So overall, how is London as a student city?
London's great. You get the student experience, you get LSE, and you also get the London experience, which is, everyone wants the London experience.
Yeah, I can definitely hear the hustle and bustle in the background right now.
Yeah, it's crazy.
So what's first year accommodation like?
Pretty good. Yeah, a bit more expensive than you'd expect, but that's London. It's relatively cheap. Sorry, I'm going all over myself. But yeah, really, really good. I had a great first year in accommodation. I'd recommend it because you get to meet loads of friends.
And what's the biggest difference between the LSE and other London unis?
The LSE is really international. We focus on social sciences as well. So none of the degrees, we don't have like medicine or anything. And everyone's really motivated. You get loads of like prime ministers or like world leaders from LSE. So we've got a very cool bunch of alumni.
Sounds pretty prestigious. And finally, what is that behind you?
This is the old building. This used to be the main building at LSE, but now it's old as its name. And now they've built so many new buildings, the centre building, this building, that building, that the old building is now just a relic. But you might have seen this in lots of photos in the past.
So, before I go, are there any typical LSE activities I must do before I leave?
If you speak to an LSE student, they'll say you have to go to Zoo Bar on the Wednesday. Fight night is really fun every year. The LSE Carol with an AU team. And the public lecture series is really good. You get famous politicians from all over the world coming in to speak.
Wow, sounds like I have a lot of things to do before I go. And finally, Daigan, what are you going to do for the rest of your day?
Probably I need to film a dance video with one of my friends and I need to catch up on sleep because I was working quite hard last night.
Wow, well that's great. Thank you so much for answering these questions. That's it for us today. Enjoy!
Thank you for filming. I loved it. Thank you.